in Texas is that the growth rates are different. We had a hunting alligators that they were hunting here on this property about 10 or 11 years ago. There was some research going on, and the guys were catching them. So we killed an alligator last year that was one of the ones that he had marked 10 years ago, and it grew only 3 feet in 10 years. So that's kind of different. What if you read a book or if you read in literature about alligators, they'll tell you they grow a foot a year. But we know for a fact that this alligator that we saw didn't grow a foot a year. He grew 3 feet in 10 years, so that means he grew like 3 inches a year, or 4 inches a year. So he grew a lot less. Well, one of the reasons that could be possible is that all of the research that's been done is done in Florida, it's done in Louisiana, where it's always warm. They don't get cold weather at all. So alligators that are in these coastal areas where it's always warm, they eat all the time. They're always active, so they're always growing. It's like when they farm alligators, what they do to them to grow them quickly is they keep them in a warm building, and they keep them with real warm and with food all the time, and they'll grow faster. Now this guy is 4 years old. This is a 4-year-old alligator, so he's probably kind of he's a little smaller, I think, than what a normal 4-year-old alligator would be. This one came from a zoo or some kind of place like that where they had them in a captive spot.
I think my sister has a
I didn't catch him. A guy brought him to us because he was having to get new ones. They have these educational permits where you can keep them. Certain businesses and places can keep them like zoos.
tape off?
No, he didn't. It won't hurt him.
No, because it's electrical tape.
That's his eyeball. Okay, now I want y'all to notice on his eyeball, look at it. He's got 2 sets of eyelids, right? One of them is like yours, but one of them shuts from front to back.
When
It's
they're
clear.
in water?
When they're under the water. When they're under the water, they close that one. It's called a nictitating membrane. It's like a shark. And so they can, when they're under the water, they can close that one and they can still see through it.
I know how to tell if it's a female or male.
How's that?
Okay, it's got a little slit right there, and what you do is you have to like put your finger in it and you feel around. If it has something, then it's a male. If it doesn't, it's a female.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm not going to do that right now. This guy, no, and I would if it was bigger. The problem with these little ones is you can hurt them doing that because you see how small that opening is. So for this one, we're just going to, he can be a boy, yeah, girl, whatever. I'll say his fingernails aren't painted, so we'll say it's a boy. Looks like a boy. They all look alike. Now, one thing that's cool is they do all look alike, but the females don't get near as big as males. Females will only get 9 foot, maybe to 10 foot.
The skin of it, is that a male's dome?
That was a boy because it was like 11 foot something.
I know,
So almost all the alligators that are over 9 foot are going to be boys. And the reason for that the girls are smaller is because they have a lot of energy and time that they put into raising babies and making eggs and building nests and all that. And so a lot of their nutrients and all that go to making the eggs and the babies.
How
So
exactly
they won't
do they
get as big.
reproduce? Do they just like have eggs or?
They reproduce like other animals reproduce.
Not asexual.
Not asexual, no. And what they'll do is sometimes a female, that was a strange question.
You don't have to answer it. It was just a random question.
Like other animals, it's not,
Okay, Jennifer, shut up.
they reproduce, then she has eggs afterwards. She lays the eggs. Now, in a nest, alligator nest will be about this tall. And it'll be a mound. It'll probably be 3 or 4 foot around, a big circle. And it's a bunch of dead grass and leaves and
You just let him down but hold his tail.
I've seen that
Yeah.
at my grandpa's.
You should let him run. I want to see how fast he is.
no, he's fast. He could run for sure. And this, with it being warm like this, he
They
could
can
run.
run like
Now,
30
speaking
miles
of
an
that,
hour.
yeah, it real fast at real short bursts.
Faster than me.
These guys are reptiles. These guys are cold-blooded. Y'all know what cold-blooded means?
They don't have warm blood.
They don't have warm blood.
To keep warm, they
It's
sit
a little
in the
bit better.
sun.
they
keep warm,
they
they
have to go
reptile.
to temperatures.
They have to be out in the sun to get heat.
And then hibernate in the winter.
And it's pretty much, it's like hibernation.
They hibernate? Yes.
Yeah, they slow way down. Their body slows way down. They may only have like 1 heartbeat a minute or something.
What?
They bury up in the mud when it's real cold. And so, one thing that's not, this is not true hibernation because alligators have to, I'll give you a chance to hold it and touch it now. Or touch it, I'm not going to let you hold it.
Caitlin, I bet you he'd slap you.
Anyway, these guys are really cool. One neat thing about them, usually when you see
I was
alligators,
like, what?
y'all pay attention, usually when you see them, all you're going to see is their head. It's going to be sticking up above the water. You'll see their eyes and their nose.
That's about it. Unless they
Oh, it's yellow, and it's bad luck. They said it's bad luck if you catch a yellow alligator.
That's the way to shoot him.
Well, we always shot them right here.
Yeah, that's where they should. Can I hold him?
No.
No, because it's far away.
Yeah, it's real soft right there, and this is his backbone runs straight down his back,
That's his kill shot.
and you shoot him right there, and that'll kill him usually. But what you don't want to shoot him too far up here if you want to keep the skull, because that's what a lot of people want to do when they kill alligators.
That's
They
so
keep the
weird.
skull, so they shoot him back behind it.
Just
Or you can, I know guys that kill them with a hatchet, so yeah,
I
there's a
do
lot
that.
of ways to kill them.
Don't.
People in Louisiana do it a lot differently.
My dad looks amazing.
He looks so mean.
Yeah.
He looks mean. He's not very mean. These alligators aren't very mean. They're really curious, though.
What about crocodiles? Like, are they mean?
Crocodiles are meaner.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I just touched it.
Crocodiles usually are pretty aggressive. Alligators are more, they're curious, but they're not aggressive. Like, they won't try to get you usually. This is his nose. And alligators breathe only out of their nose. They can't breathe out of their mouth.
They're mean if you steal their babies. Like, not.
That's about the only time they'll get mad, is if you start messing with them when they're nesting.
Like my
Don't
mom
they
used to
open their
when I
mouths
was a
and
kid.
let their babies
They'll move the babies around. They're really cool. I mean, look at, one of the other things we're talking about, things that we don't know about alligators. Look at his side of his head, and you'll see all these little black dots. All those little black dots, and scientists don't, they think, they help them to sense movement or something, but nobody knows really certain why
Don't push
they
the
have
hole.
those.
I wasn't.
I got a bug on
See my fingers like.
What is his tail?
You can't tickle an alligator. You can't.
These are called scutes. Each one of these is called a scute, and it's like a little square.
What are they for?
These are like, it's kind of like,
Armor protection.
it's armor protection, but it's also like a solar panel for them. They sit out there, and they have little holes in them, and their blood flows through underneath, and these are like a big shield that attracts heat, and it heats these up, and it heats their blood, and it cycles through. Yes,
Why
ma'am.
are their tails like
Tucker.
flat? Like
I help them swim.
Flat this way,
Help them swim.
because it helps them swim.
Mm.
This way.
Told you.
They're very fast swimmers, yeah. I don't know how fast they can swim, but
They're
they're very
slow
fast.
when they're out of water.
No, they're not.
They're
These
not
guys
slow
can
when they're
run.
out of water.
They can, what they'll do, you'll see, he'll probably raise up.
No. Oh, he don't like you.
But see how he walks? He stands up. He stands up tall, and they can run pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm not
These guys are really neat. Now, when people eat them, they eat the tail.
What?
What?
The tail is the part of an alligator that most
He
people
tried to
will
bite
eat.
you. He's like,
Well, yeah, I ate an
wasted
alligator,
an
so
entire
what?
alligator.
Yeah, when I was down on the coast, I'd worked down there for a long time. You'd find dead alligators. People would poach them. They'd shoot the alligator and cut the tail off of it.
I have a question.
But feel how that big muscle on his tail.
That's fine. Okay. Do
Let me
their
feel
tails
that
grow back
muscle.
like lizards?
No, they don't.
they should.
They will kill him. If you cut one's tail off, he will die, usually.
Because he can't swim. He
Yeah.
can't catch his food.
I've seen some pictures of one that had his tail chopped off, and it just made like a little short nub. It kind of nubbed over, so it healed up,
But did not
and
grow.
he was able to live, but he didn't grow it back. No.
Oh, look, he wrapped his feet around me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So another thing we don't know, you'll look at these guys, they only have 4 toes on their back foot,
Oh, no.
and they have 5 on the front, but both feet only have 3 claws. See, he doesn't have a
Then
claw
what
on
are
this
the
one.
other things?
Doesn't have a
They're
claw.
not
on this.
claws.
What's
So
that?
they go like this.
You said they only have 3 claws, but they have 4 toes and like crab toes and
I
stuff
think it
like
helps
that.
them grip the
That'd
earth.
be like having
It might
not
be.
a fingernail.
One of the thoughts is that,
might
yeah,
be.
it's like having no fingernails on 2 of your fingers.
That's weird.
We don't know
That's
why.
a little weird.
There's
I would
people that
choose
think
these
there's some different
Maybe
reasons.